live Sunday night show presented by the Birdsall Lawfirm. Best win of the year. Let's do it.
First took away. That's the best. Get your money's worth now.
Once again, this podcast is presented to you by the Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk Located 19 Poydras Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413 if you or someone you know has been involved in an accident. The Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. Leo Ross in studio, Chaz and Chris joining virtual. Make sure you smash that like button before we get into Lito's first. We'll start off with you, Lito, but I want to bring this one up.
Right now, take advantage inside of 5. Sees 15-footer. Got it!
Oh, my fault. First of all, it's a good-looking shot, and secondly, it looks natural. And thirdly, I just don't understand the reluctance in taking it. But I'm always in on the each number. So fourthly, I feel like I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see the shot. I wish him continued success in doing it. And dog, you got 2 of them.
Yeah. Hold up, I got.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know, Chris. I know.
He is going crazy. Can somebody please interrupt?
Yeah. Sorry.
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh.
Starting off early tonight.
I'm a professional. I'm not doing none of that pause shenanigans y'all doing.
Okay. We're here to talk about the game.
We're here to talk about basketball.
Strictly basketball tonight. This is the second midnight.
Now Zion on the move. Little 10-footer. Yes!
Ross?
That one to me was more impressive.
Really?
And I have I think of everybody here, the one that probably owes the man an apology more than anyone else. Because I feel like we had my thought was that he would be getting closer to the rim and it would be little push shots and everything else. But these are legitimate 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, catch off a screen from the elbow. That's different. Neither one of those, I think, touched those were basically nothing but net. I thought that second one looked incredibly smooth. And that one was I don't want to say contested, but it wasn't they were somewhat guarding it. I thought those were really impressive shots. I mean, if he's adding that to his arsenal, which I didn't think he could. I didn't think he had that. Again, it just changes things a little more.
Before you move off topic, I think that's the frustrating part for me. I know he could do it. I've seen the clips in practice. I've gone to practice. I've seen him shoot it. I don't understand the reluctance in taking the shot. It's a good shot, and not only that, I know he wants to get a head start and start at the 3-point line and attack. But if everybody's free throw line down and you got all that space, I feel like you not only doing a detriment to the team in not taking that shot, but you are, that's how you get high turnovers. That's how you get, those 7 turnover games that he has. Bro, it's an easy shot. And I saw it in rhythm tonight. I saw the shot in rhythm. He cannot not take that shot.
Yeah. And Chaz, kind of explain to us, when Zion's hitting those 15-footers, what does that do for the rest of the offense, right? Because you see guys sag. Do you think this actually opens up the offense when he's hitting these type of shots or no? Oh, Chaz, you might be muted.
My bad, but nah. Look, it's game 78. That's what's up. I'm glad you you got into your bag when it was time. What happened tonight from Zion, superstar stuff. But to Lito's point, it's stuff we all know he's capable of doing. It's just about putting forth the effort and having the willingness to do something you're uncomfortable with and making that sacrifice for the team. I think it helps him individually, but I don't think defenses are going to guard him. You need a season's worth of film of him doing that and making that consistently for defenses to kind of change for, them to we got to guard that because he's still fucking 98% at the rim. There's something stupid, what I'm saying? Something ridiculous. But I think he knew he did what was needed tonight. He understood the situation. He took advantage of it. It's just something that you need to see consistently. You need to see those adjustments made. You need to see that defensive intensity that he had. all night. Cause I think early in this game, I thought the table was set for Zion to quit early in this game, and he didn't. Cause I saw 3 bad calls in a row. That out of bounds turnover, that was one of the worst calls I think I've ever seen.
Back. It was back. Was it the same ref that was back to back on that? Was it the same ref?
I don't know if it was the same ref, but it was a terrible call, and it was followed by back-to-back bad, like blown foul calls. So where he got fouled on back-to-back possessions and they weren't called. And I really felt like that could have discouraged him from the game. You saw he didn't really shoot much in the first quarter, and then he really turned it on. And later in the game, in the second half, he just closed out. And I thought it was incredible. Just overall game. I think those mid-range games, you got to take them because they're there. You know what I'm saying? You got to take them because they're there. You're a solid enough free throw shooter. You got to shoot them. You know what I'm saying? You practice it enough. Do it on the floor. I just want to see it consistently before I start celebrating it. Yep. I just got to see it consistently.
And Justin, I think, and I agree with Chaz, I don't know that it necessarily opens anything up like for others, but I think it definitely changes things for Zion himself. Like I think if he misses that second one, maybe he reacts different, but instead he makes it. The very next possession down, he gets maybe he fouls Durant. I thought Durant had kind of lost that ball, but whatever. Either way, he's highly engaged defending Kevin Durant. Whatever, they call a foul. He ends up making the free throws, and then I think the next possession we come down, Dyson hits a 3, and then the next possession was the little kerfluffle, whatever, with Dyson and Jose and Booker, and then I think the possession after that is when Zion gets the ridiculous putback, like offensive rebound and putback, and that's kind of how the third quarter ended. So, I think it certainly gives him more confidence and more energy, if that shot goes in.
Yeah, Chris. We're going to talk. I want you to talk about the mid range and what that will do for Zion Williamson's game. But I thought this is one of the bigger plays of the game, and this showed me right here. I think it was late in the third quarter. I was like, "Oh wow, Zion won." I thought Zion was like, "Yeah, he wants to win." This was the play right here.
Coming up short, Z took it away. Got it right back from you, Banks.
That right there, he can do that all the time, and I thought that right there showed me. I'm like, "Oh no, this dude's ready. Like he's gonna take over."
Yeah, I mean, I think plays like that, it's like a microcosm of what this game was about for him. The extra effort. We saw him steal a pass in the backcourt, throw it behind his back to Trey. Whatever the game called for Zion to do, diving on the floor, whatever it was, he looked like a dude that desperately knew he had to, leave it all out on the floor and win the game. And that's the thing. Chaz said the key word, capable. We don't have criticism on this team in certain areas. Just it's for no other reason that I feel like you're capable of more. I feel like, the staff is capable of more. I feel like the talent base is capable of more. They all going to have their limitations, but Zion is capable of shooting those pull-ups. We've seen it. No, it's not going to change how defenses guard him more than likely until, you can see it being a regular part of his game. But what will help change how teams, even if it's for a quarter, how teams have to guard the Pelicans? I got a video. Here's one.
Yep. Larry, good catch. And racks.
I got it up. Yep, I have it. Go ahead.
That's crazy. They did that. They ran that at least 3 to 4 to 5 different times. And what ended up happening was eventually, once the backdoor cut to the basket wasn't available, what does Dyson do? He takes the floater back-to-back times. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, that opens up Zion getting one-on-one, or just, the paint isn't as packed. The same with Jose hitting a few threes and you overloading a side with shooters. There was one possession where you got, I forget who it was, but it was Herb, Trey, and Jose all on one side of the floor. The creativity was there. The effort was there, but they're all capable of it. But when you don't show it and you don't live up, you don't deliver, and you let down consistently, then what do? We have talks about wondering, okay, well, maybe you're incapable. I think that's the way it works, and that's the way that it should work. Games like this show that they are capable, and I just think it's fair to say, all right, well, let's see more of it. It was the best one of the season. It was the best game I've ever seen Zion Williamson play in the NBA. I think it was the best. It was the best coaching staff. I mean, even the way they guarded Devin Booker.
Yep.
About
all that.
Let's goes on and on.
I want to see this clip. I think it's my Dyson clip. I thought we might have had the Zion block. Do you want to talk about that? Or do you want to say something?
Which block?
I thought the most impressive one. There's two that stuck out to me. It was the 3-point attempt. I don't know who shot it. Was it Beal that shot it? Blocks at the top of the key. The Kevin Durant one.
Yeah.
Where he gets beat off the drum. I'm like, he had 5 blocks tonight.
He did a lot of baiting people into thinking that they were open layups. And his recovery was really quick. Everybody knows about his second jump, but his first jump is really quick also. Obviously. I did have a question for Chris. You talked about just schematically, you talk about that play just from a basketball standpoint of Larry cutting it from the corner. I want to know, like, do you think that that's something they added, or is it like just a read and react thing of, hey, this has been open for you. You don't have to settle for this, or do you think it is an implementation going into the playoffs?
It had to be a mixture of both, because it wasn't like, Larry took a couple corner threes. He even took a mid-range. Dyson took a few threes today, but eventually it gets to the point that's what they're asking you to do. They will live with it. Doesn't mean you shouldn't shoot them, but you shouldn't live or die by standing beyond the three. I think, Lito, it was probably something that the staff focused on, and it was also the players executing and say, all right, this is what we're going to have to do to beat this particular defense, to beat the way that they are guarding, overloading on Zion Williamson and CJ, and when CJ looks.
But like, to your point, Lito, like, I feel like we finally implemented something like, okay, if they're going to give us this look and there's 3 guys guarding, like, just simply flash. And you're playing 2-on-1 on the left side, right? And I don't know if that, like, to me though, right? I feel like as a player, that would just click in my head automatically. I wouldn't need someone to tell me that.
That's why I asked Chris that question.
So I get where you're coming from, like, but as a player, I'm like, all right, I see Zion's got 3 people. If I just flash middle, I'm playing 2-on-1 here with Nurk, and Larry Nance is cutting from the corner. That's where I would be. But Dyson, once again, young. I mean, but he's played professional basketball for a long time now. He should know to do that.
As a basketball player, they always tell you to attack space. So if the space is not, if there's nobody guarding you, for instance, if you're not a great shooter, that should not be something you want to do, 4 or 5 times a game. You should attack the space. I don't care how young or how old you are. And I actually don't feel like the Pelicans coaching staff should have to tell you that. I think this is a natural IQ play. You see what's not there and you attack it.
Right. And that leads to a great point, Ross. So multiple times tonight, I think 3 or 4 times, like, Nurk is just sagging off Larry Nance, whatever, Zion Williamson. And there's 2 moments there against Larry Nance, I think. And Jared actually, shout out Jerry, he's probably in the chat right now laughing, but Jared actually called me in the middle of the game, was like, did you just see that? Larry Nance catches the ball, realizes that Nurk is sagging. So what does he do? CJ McCollum just comes running off him, sprinting, sets a good screen, and guess what? Nurk is in drop. So you're one of your best 3-point shooters, one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, comes off clean and has a clean look. They did that twice tonight. The second time, Larry Nance, they pass to the corner. Larry Nance doesn't shoot the corner 3 with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Those are right to CJ. They go screen. Grayson Allen freezes. Bam. CJ another 3.
That, to me, more than the situations we just talked about, I think those previous ones were just read and react stuff. This, to me, felt like something that it had to have been discussed and implemented, because we've just seen none of it. Mm-hmm. And for it to be, it almost was instinctual to a certain degree, but it felt like something they were like, hey, if you're not going to sit in that corner and we don't want you taking that 3-pointer, even though he did take a few, this to me felt like something, keep the ball. It felt like something they had worked on, in the sense of like, keep the basketball moving. And if Larry catches this and his guys Nurkic is standing on the block, which totally separate issue, they could have gotten Nurk for about 74 3 seconds tonight that they just, officials decide when they want to call that and when they don't, I guess, whatever. But it felt like something that they maybe had discussed, right? Because it was happening so quickly. There wasn't a 2 or 3 second hesitation of like, oh damn, what do I do with this basketball? It was, I caught it, I'm gonna keep the ball moving. And it was almost like CJ understood that. And so I don't know whether that's chemistry because
Larry and CJ played a lot
because and especially lately.
Yeah.
Larry another 30 plus minutes tonight or whatever. So I don't know whether it's maybe just chemistry and it's things they had working on that are starting to come to fruition. This one to me felt more than that of like, hey, we don't want the offense to get bogged down here. If you catch it in your guys and drop, keep it moving.
Yeah. And Chaz, I think I saw you might tweet something like midway through the third, but they had like 28 3-point attempts, like midway through the third. They were on pace. They go tonight. I
think we shot 39. Huh?
Yeah. We go 16 of 39 from 3. CJ goes 7 of 12 from deep. Trey 3 of 10. Dyson 1 of 3. And then Jose Alvarado 5 of 8. I felt like they played like there was a game plan tonight. Like we talk about 43-point attempts. I felt like tonight they actually followed the game plan, even though they got down early. Jose Alvarado with a great spark off the bench, but CJ McCollum, man, like he struggled there in the third and fourth quarter. There's one time like in the fourth quarter when he got ripped in the backcourt. And I think it led to that deal 3 in the corner. I was like, oh my God, here we go. But CJ in the first half, man, he was great. I thought he was really good.
I spoke about this on the show with Chris. CJ at this stage in his career, he's just maybe first 3 quarters guy. He's been playing 40 minutes consistently, like down the stretch of the season. 41 minutes tonight. It's like, damn, you gotta find some minutes, man, to get CJ some rest. But generally, I was real happy with the shots guys put up. I thought Jose and Dyson and Larry, I thought they all provided major sparks for that second unit. I thought, Najee's out. I thought the second unit generally played well. I thought the second unit generally really like kind of kept the guys in the game, kind of kept the intensity up because it was a low energy game to start. It was real low energy, a real sloppy game. I thought CJ came out, firing on all cylinders. It's kind of what CJ does, though, typically in these first halves. And I thought, again, Zion closed the game expertly. But overall, I thought it was a full team contribution. I thought everyone who stepped on the floor tonight contributed. And I thought that was something, major because, you're looking at how crazy the West is right now. Dallas had one of the best comeback victories I've ever seen. Like Dallas was crazy.
Fucking Jabari.
That was a fun game. But looking at how you're talking about down the stretch, you got to go. I think the magic number for the Pelicans is 3-1. I think they got to go 3-1 because I think the Suns. I think the Suns are going 3-1, but all they really have to, if the Suns go 2-2, the Pelicans have to go 3-1.
Who's got the tiebreaker? Suns have the tiebreaker?
Yeah, the Suns have the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Yep.
Look, and Chris, we have to talk about it. I thought Dyson Daniels early on, they made the adjustment like 4 or 5 minutes in, Chris. I thought Dyson Daniels played one of his better games in the last couple of years. I mean, like in his 2-year NBA career. I'm serious because defensively, we know what he can bring. But back to what you said about his floaters. I think he got 3 floaters, like where he was cutting off ball. He got, I think he hit a floater over Nurk, and then he just hit a couple more, cutting off Zion, and then he hit a huge 3. I think it was left wing, and then what he brings defensively, man. I thought tonight he's playing with confidence, and then the whole Booker thing. I'm like, Dyson's a quiet dude. Like he started the show. Like Dyson started that tonight. Like Dyson started that. Like I just see there's a little more like. I know you called me out on Twitter, but I just feel like there's a little bit more of a mentality with him. Like he's a little bit more confident in himself.
I mean, look, man, he needs to be, again, I mean, it goes back to the conversation about what you're capable of. All Dyson has to go out there and do is just play basketball, man. Just simple, especially being someone that's off ball. I think he's one of the smartest cutters on the team. And not even just cutting to, necessarily score, cutting for knowing that if he makes a move, what it may open up for the next individual person. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so happened that tonight, him cutting opened up a few opportunities for him in which he took. Like it went from Phoenix daring him to do something for them starting to respect him a little bit. And defensively, bro, just not backing down, just not being scared, not being not falling into front running capabilities, because Phoenix gonna talk shit. And they did, a couple times. But it got to a point to where it felt like Phoenix thought that the Pelicans would crumble, right? Because typically that's what they've done in these clutch games. That's typically what happened, and they didn't. He was a big part, or he was one of the people that was a big part of that without really saying a word. And I think for him, being able to see that, and that doesn't mean that, without having to make a bunch of threes or without having to, show up and locking somebody down, like just being able to impact the game in that particular way and be on the floor late is important, with all the talk about, hey, if you just sit in this corner, they're going to ignore you, as they did the first 2 opening possessions of the game. Something clicked with him. And I saw Willie talking to him a few different times, like, yo, attack. He had like Eubanks on him. With like 6 or 7 seconds left, he just waited to get a ball to CJ. Ended up being a bad shot. He ended up getting subbed out, coming back in. But just that, that internal clock of him bringing a different level of intensity is important for his maturation and his growth in this league as someone who's going to be a defender or, a 3-and-D guy in the game eventually.
What'd you think of that Dyson Booker thing?
I don't think much of it. I think I'm glad that he stood up for his teammate. I'm glad to see that I'm glad to see he was the first person there.
I thought that was a big deal. And then Jose comes in. We'll talk about that, but
I take it back. I do. After thinking about it, yeah, him being the first person there, I kind of feel like that's a statement. You might not have seen that from him early in the season. You definitely wouldn't have seen it from him last year. And I think that he didn't. First of all, why did Jose get attacked?
That was trash.
I was trying.
That was trash. Hey, I don't know. Yeah.
And secondly, why did Dyson get attacked? Because usually the refs catch the second person.
But it went to review.
Okay. Well, anyways,
I wouldn't have given either of them a tech.
I mean,
like I wouldn't have given it. Like I thought the AD and Joel said the same thing. It was like that guy made something bigger because everybody ran off the damn bench.
I got a question for y'all.
I thought that was 2 little soft pushes. Like
I have a question. So like in the NFL, when it doesn't matter if there's 15 penalties on the play. So if there's like a personal foul, roughing the passer, then there's taunting, then there's a hold, there's a pass interference, it automatically oversets. Doesn't matter if the defense had 3 of the penalties and the offense had 1. Why did Booker get a T and then Dyson get a T, but then Jose got a T, so they automatically get 1 free throw? I thought it would just go offset.
It was
so just because you got more, just because so in the NBA you get more technicals, you get that free throw.
Yep.
And so it's like not offset.
The NBA have a refereeing problem.
Oh,
let me hold on. Dyson had a couple possessions on KD where it was nothing he could do. However, I do want to say this. Dyson played great defense. His ability to move his feet, not foul. I said this earlier in the season. He does the Drew thing. He does a Drew thing where he does not get caught reaching in. Yeah. He puts his body in to the defender's way, and he literally, I kept that was a little crazy, but I didn't stop. All right. So look, he put his body into the defender's. Yeah, that's crazy. Go ahead.
Accountability.
Well, I thank the Lord. Well, I thank Coach Harbaugh.
You got 2 tonight.
Hey.
Boy, that studio got you acting a little crazy. You drinking wine, brother?
Hey,
what's going on?
I'm a professional. I don't have time. I'm dealing with basketball analytics of this. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
But for real, he do the Drew thing. I don't know what you call it, but like Dyson does not get reaching fouls.
The way he guards downhill drives.
Yeah.
That's what I like, his balance with guarding downhill drives. Or when navigating like off screens, to where like guys like Booker and KD, the first thing they're looking for, like they're trying to see where your arms are. You know what I'm saying? So if you like, we see Zion get those calls against him all the time, and Dyson does such a good job just strictly like moving his feet, like you mentioned, and he has really good balance. Like he would be, it's like it's defensive back like in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I find the other part is that like some guys, when they contest, like they're not all contests are the same. Like even there were a couple of shots Durant hit that I thought there was nothing, like you can't defend that play that sequence of events any better. Whatever, like 6'10" or however tall Durant is, he hit the shot. Cool, that's just the NBA. Like good offensive players, they're gonna make baskets. But I find Dyson's contests are like meaningful. Like it's like he keeps himself even in those like, against really good defenders. I mean, a really good offensive players. It's like he keeps himself close enough to either the upcoming pass or the upcoming shot to where he can like contest in a meaningful way. Like it ain't just, well, let me just fly by, or I'm giving some little half-assed, wave at it, even though I'm 2 feet away from the shot. It's like he's almost got that Herb light thing where when he can contest, like he might actually tip the basketball or something. So I don't know. Yeah, I thought he played great, especially when you said that thing about him. There were a couple shots Durant hit that he knew Dyson was there.
It was that left baseline turnaround.
He made him, but he knew Dyson was there.
Yeah. I gotta stop the show. We have like the most ever in the room. Make sure you smash that like button. But it's Lito's birthday tomorrow, so everybody in the chat, I'd like you to wish Lito a happy birthday. So happy birthday to Lito. Just wanted to make sure we got that out of the way. I had it in my notes. Birthday tomorrow. Well done. You got a bottle of Woodford Reserve right there. Happy birthday, Lito. Go ahead.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Dyson for real is probably one of the better defenders I've seen. Like no hyperbole. And if he can ever find a way to make himself some sort of offensive threat and maybe shoot between 35, 36. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Between 35, 36 from 3, he will have his family generational wealth for a long time.
Just trying to distract him now.
No. The other, I think Dyson. I'm sorry. I know. Like, can people hear the craxophone down there? Like, can y'all?
Bro, he going crazy.
Like, can y'all, Lito or Chris and Chaz, can y'all hear the saxophone going on at Magazine Street right now or no?
Nah.
Oh, that's what's going on. Yeah. I hear something.
The craxophone's going crazy on Magazine Street right now. Go ahead.
There's like 30 years in the game down here on Magazine Street.
And he playing it so crazy. Every time we stop talking, he stopped. And then like when we start talking, he go again. Like Chris, I don't care. I don't appreciate you actually.
It's your birthday, bro. Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
I'm a professional podcaster, and I'm gonna give you good basketball
analysis.
Okay.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Amir.
Okay.
Go ahead. Wow. Happy birthday, Amir. Go ahead, Ross.
Whatever. All things considered, best win in the Pelicans.
He had to join. Look, he couldn't help himself. He had to join. Five had to join. What up, Five?
Cinco.
What up, Five?
What's up, y'all? Happy birthday, Lito.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Best win in the Zion Pelicans era.
Hands down. I thought it was best. I thought it was his best overall performance on offense and defense.
I'm talking about the team, but like I'm saying, is this the best win in the 5 years that Zion has been playing basketball?
Let me ask this: does it beat? Yeah, it does, because it beats the December win last year against the Suns when they swept them over the weekend. I think with all the 1-5 homestand, all the criticism, everything like that, I thought tonight was.
And for me, it matters. For me, it matters that it was the Suns too. Like if you had just gone and beaten the Clippers or somebody, you'd been like, yeah. I mean, like good win, right? Really good win at this time of year. But like these dudes punked you 2 times in a row on your home floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't just beat you; they punked you. And so I think you layer all that in. This was an impressive win.
I was too. 5 go. Zion mid range. We kind of talked about that. Wait. Go ahead. I mean, you see him all the time working on it. And finally tonight, why do you think finally tonight he went with that shot?
Maybe just, I don't know, bro. It looked good though, right? Like it looked like a competent shot. I mean, he's been shooting it. I mean, we've seen videos. We've seen it, in pregame warmups. We've seen it in practice or post-practice. But maybe tonight he was like, all right, fuck it. If I fail, I fail. Right? Like, who cares? At this point, like, is game 70, what were we at? 77, 76?
Like 78.
78, right? Like, all right, and what they gonna do? Not play you? Right? Like, just shoot it. Right? Like, fuck it, just shoot it. And there was success. So hopefully this isn't a point of like maybe this is just the beginning of it, right? Like, he's gonna shoot this, and I hope to see it again. I don't care if he misses. That's the thing. I don't care if these are missed shots because eventually you're gonna see shots like this go in on a consistent basis. Like he needs it of anybody else. Like he needs that shot, just like Brandon needs the three. If you want people to, I think that's the reason why he got the right hand dunk, because he made the middies. Right? Like, yeah. Take your ass in there. Go. Go ask Kennedy. Ask Kennedy. Kennedy will do it. Sorry.
Pro parenting touch.
Yeah, pro parenting touch. But yeah, man, I think that's why he got the dunk, right? It's like you had to press him a little bit. He blows by with the right hand, the offhand, right? Like, oh shit, Zion can use his right hand. Man, like that's just the evolution of Zion Williamson right in front of us.
Chaz, do you think back to I'm glad you brought that point up, Five. Chaz, do you think like when he did that right-handed dunk, like there were a couple possessions there late in the game where he wasn't. I think CJ might have initiated one time, maybe Herb, and then I think finally everyone was like, all right, give Zion the basketball. Do you think he demanded it? Because there was a moment there, I don't know if you remember, like it was probably like one of the second or third last possessions, like Zion like waved over here. And we've been talking about like wanting to get the basketball. Like, nah, I don't care what coach calls. I don't care what CJ calls. Like, no, give me the ball. Do you think there was more of that tonight? Did you see that?
I think, look, man, I just think he had a good game. I can't do it. Like, it's just, look, I done seen Zion do this against Minnesota like last year. I done seen Zion just embarrass the Raptors. I've seen the dude be super great a few times at this point. I seen him do it a couple times against Phoenix, last year? Like, and it's just basically with him being assertive. And, I think I don't know if I see like his temperament changing or nothing like that. I think when he feels good, when he feels confident, when he sees like, wait, they can't really do nothing with me here. I think Nurkic getting in foul trouble helped a lot also. And at this point, he done downloaded all the data possible on this team. Like, there's no way possible they could have guarded him differently after all these matchups at this point. And he's had success against this team in the past with the same unit, just not this season. I just thought he played well. I don't know if I really saw any type of like metamorphosis of him aside from those mid-range jumpers. I just saw a dude who just like I said this last game. I said Zion, the current Zion, has an opportunity to be the best player on the floor tonight. As long as he has that opportunity, you got a chance. Because he's had games in the past where he was better than Booker for that night. Like you've seen it. And so tonight is him stepping up doing that. I think the 5 blocks, couple of steals, the save from out of bounds. I think to me that's far more impressive than the middies. Far more impressive, because you're talking about a dude that you have like people question if his athleticism is fleeting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real question. Like, damn, if this dude, like, we might never see that dude again. That's a real thing. So to me, the middies, that's always something he can always add. But to me, the defense, the deflections, the attention to detail, just the even on that turnover that was called out of bounds at the end of the game where he got the deflection and he almost had to steal that. He just stepped out of bounds. To me, that's super impressive versus like, I mean, I don't know if he called for the ball tonight. I'm like, fuck, who else they gonna give it to? CJ had like an off game, and I definitely don't want Herb going rogue again, because I just seen Herb go rogue twice. It never turns out well, and I'm like, who else they gonna give it to?
Well, this is who. Yeah, you go ahead, Leo.
I'm with Chaz on that. I think the when I say this is the best I've seen Zion play, it's the complete game was the best version of him I've ever seen play. And I do agree with him about that being more important than the middies. He had 5 blocks, but dog, if a shot went up, he was contesting it. Like, it didn't matter who it was. He had a couple where KD, he missed 2 KD. I guess you could call them layups, but he missed he missed 2 KD shots where he contested it and he ended up jumping into KD afterwards.
Yes, there was one like on the right baseline there.
I'm glad they didn't call a foul.
I said don't call the foul.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't call it. I mean, and really, like, in the rules, you shouldn't have called a foul, because I mean, it wasn't in the It wasn't in the.
Didn't
It wasn't
affect
in
the
the
shot.
It didn't affect the shot. But I was happy to see that. I think for me the thing is with. I want to give Zion some flowers because last pod, or he didn't play last game, but the pod before, we were talking about how defenses were guarding him and his lack of aggression and or his inability to find a way to affect the game if he wasn't scoring. However, tonight you saw him just in a couple of occasions just take what the defense gave him. And that's really sometimes all the game calls for. You don't have to go outside of your means. You don't have to think above the ability to what you have to do. You can literally just take what the defense gives you. And he made a lot of the right decisions tonight on a whole bunch of plays. And the thing with him is I called out his motor or lack thereof early in the season. And he's playing with that now. And his energy, it's kind of contagious for the rest of the team because when he's playing like that, I mean, I'm gonna play a little bit like I could be a little bit more aggressive on the perimeter because I know Zion could clean up my mistakes.
Yeah,
Chris, I want to get to you in a second because I want to address this comment, my dog, because we talk about this first NBA game. He goes like 5-5 or whatever. The reason why this was the best overall games because the team needed it. Like there's 5 games left in the year. This is like the most important, one of the more important games of the year. Like you had to have Zion show up. And I felt like Zion show up. Chris, did you want to say anything after Lito?
yeah. I think what you just mentioned about where we're at in the season, coming off of like that Spurs loss could have broke them. I mean, if we want to keep it real, like and all the different things behind the scenes in regards to that, it could have broken them. We feel like BI will be back here soon, but there's no, we don't have a definite day. We can see that he's on his way here, but you just got embarrassed by this team to like back-to-back times. And if you want to count Booker's last 3 games, you've been embarrassed by one individual 3 times. You got to go on a road and do it after not being able to take care of business at the crib. You want to what was it, a 4-game losing streak at that point? Like all things considered, against that amount of talent on that side, against KD, against Book, against Bill, and all the different ways he impacted the game, I think makes it the best. He took a game in which the odds weren't in his favor, and that's superstar shit. Guarding like we talk about the blocks, but guarding Bradley Beal and on the perimeter, for a stretch, guarding Kevin Durant on different switches in the like late in the game. We talking about 40 minutes, getting some of these blocks in the fourth quarter, 10 rebounds. But I think it was just the complete kind of performance against a team with a dude that you haven't stopped and in over a calendar year. Bradley Beal had his best game of the season. Like, picture that. Tonight, he had his best game of the season. He hadn't scored 20 points and he scored 31 tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, all things considered, the matchup, the different changes that you had to make, the talent, differential, and how they guarded you and made you into just in certain stretches, just a role player. He said, fuck all that and took the game. And we needed to see that. I think everybody needed to see it on both sides of the floor. It was incredible.
So we just hit a record of 400 people in the chat. So appreciate everyone showing up. Make sure you smash the like button.
Yeah.
Channel. Appreciate everyone here. I want to get to 5, then I'll get to you, Ross. 5. I thought Jose. Man, you got to talk about Jose Alvarado. He changed the game tonight. I mean, we're talking about being a pest defensively on Booker. I thought he was incredible against Devin. And then we know what he's going to do defensively. But going 5 of 8 from deep and just providing such a spark. And Chaz talked about the energy. And this happens a lot with Jose coming off the bench, but Chaz alluded to basically having, not necessarily great energy to start this game. Jose comes in 5. I thought he changed. I really thought he changed the game and continuously changed the game. There was that bad layup, which I didn't like against Nurk, like where he got a little out of control. But when you affect the game that much, like I'm okay with it. What did you see from Jose tonight? You might be muted. Yeah, you're definitely muted.
My bad. This is my my thing about just this team and like Jose Alvarado's like impact or value to it, right? Like the fact that this team almost relies on 15 and 8 to save them at times, right? Like you mean to tell me that Jose Alvarado had to bring the energy in game 77? Like shout out to that dude for being ready off an injury. Right, like he was the missing cog to this, right? Like that was the That's my whole issue about, like, he played well. This is not an indictment on him. Shout out to him because he's done this multiple times. I can probably find you 10 games that he's probably won for you just by doing this or being effective. But that guy was undrafted, right? Like that guy was not, chosen to do this, but he carved out a lane. But let's just speak to making the threes, right? Like, making the threes opened up everything else. Just being able to shoot and make competent threes. Imagine, this is not Jose or Jordan Hawkins kind of thing, but imagine just having shooting out there alongside of him. Like, this is the point we've all been making. This isn't like shout out to Jose for being ready and contributing to a big win, but he's not going 5 for 8 on a consistent basis. Give me the guy that gives me the best chance to do that. So Zion Williamson can have space so you can have the ball in the middle of the court. And maybe you'll see this version of him again. I thought the coaching staff did a decent job of one understanding, like, okay, this is what they're going to do. They're going to have Nurk in the help side. So instead of having space, we're just going to go inside, and whoever catches the ball in the middle, almost like a screen, right? Either you're going to try to finish or you're going to do a Brady, essentially kick it out to the wing in the corner and have the corner guy shoot it. That's what they did tonight. I thought Dyson did well when he was put in that position. Pause. Like, he did well, like being able to finish the back-to-back floaters, right? The only thing I didn't like was just more so that, like, the hesitancy of it at times. Like, he needs to be more aggressive. But again, this should have been a solved problem game 25, not 77.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ross, anything about Jose?
Yeah, no, I agree with pretty much everything Five said. I don't. Yeah, props to him. Like, the 5 of 8, more like, he's going to play with energy. Like, that's sort of his MO. You're going to get that from him whenever he's available. But the 5 of 8, you needed all 5 too. Like those weren't. Yeah. That wasn't a 3-pointer. Up 12 in the third, and then kind of a meaningless one in the fourth. Like, the 5 threes he hit were 5 very important 3-pointers. So yeah, look, shout out to him for I don't know, it's been a month since he played last.
No, has it been
3
a month?
weeks?
Yeah,
A couple weeks maybe, right?
That's why the dude's in the NBA. Like, he cares. He plays hard. He knocked down some really important shots tonight, and his energy, while it's, to Five's point, the fact that, like, that really was what we needed to kickstart everything. That's a little disappointing, I guess. But, like, this is in an 82 game regular season, there's going to be nights where you need Jose Alvarado to do exactly what he did tonight. Yeah. And so, good for him.
Chris, there was I just saw it in a comment about, and I want to hear you and Chaz's thoughts about Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, but there was a comment about Herb Jones, like, having a bad game. And once again, I really hate the whistle he gets defensively. There's some chicken shit foul calls. Like, there's one on Devin Booker where, like, the ball's like 70 feet away from the rim, and he's getting, like, this stupid ass holding call on Devin Booker. Like, you could call it against anybody, but some reason Herb gets it. I thought tonight he goes 0-2. We've all been on the stream talking about, like, Herb needs to shoot more. But I thought tonight he had a couple big free throws. He goes 4-4 from the free throw line. Those were 4 huge free throws, especially when the Suns were getting runs. And then obviously defensively, he had a couple steals, a couple deflections that really don't show up in a box score. But are you kind of, what I've noticed a little bit is, like, is Herb kind of getting like faded out a little bit in the offense? Like, I feel like he has not been as aggressive or shooting as much as he has over the last 60 something games.
Nah, I think teams are just not treating him like my dog Dyson Daniels. I mean, it's just like they're not treating him as an afterthought. So at worst, like, running up and chopping your feet, or even faking as if you're gonna contest, I think is, it makes a difference. It forces him to have to do something off of the dribble. I think that there may have been some opportunities for him to be a little bit more aggressive, but I think the way teams are simply defending him, like the things that are written under Herb Jones' scouting report from the beginning of the year are not the things that have been being written right now. So now you're talking about him. Well, okay, he's adjusted to one thing. Now he's going to have to adjust to another. His reputation is changing. And look, on the other side of that, he got a guard to, 3 of the best isolation scorers in the game, and 2, one of the best of all time, and one that the Pelicans haven't had an answer for, and Devin Booker. So, I think, you're asking for a lot, and I would have liked to see him be a little bit more aggressive, but he did. You talked about the free throws. One of those particular plays where he makes 2 free throws, I think the game was like a 1-point game or 3.
Yes, they're on a run,
going back and forth. Him being able to be aggressive to go and attack when I believe Zion was in front of him to get to the line was huge for a dude that's been cold the entire game. And something else he did that I think was important was just not be in foul trouble. He had a moment where, I think he had 2 or he had 3 at the end of the end of the first half. It may have been 2, but he ended up being subbed out. But he ended the game with 4 fouls. Herb being able to stay out of foul trouble, to be out there a little bit longer. You need those kind of like hockey substitutions between him and Dyson available. But when Herb's in foul trouble, it makes it a lot more difficult. So I just think, man, a lot of this is just reputation and scouting reports changing and people being more respectful to him. That is going to have to, next season we'll see. We can ask, I think, more interesting questions about Herb and what he's going to be able to do in attacking space. A lot of times the space really isn't there to begin with some of the lineups that are out there.
Yeah, I just want to add, I agree with everything Chris said. I just want to add one thing. Because this is just for me personally. What I have said about Herb was he's gotten to a point where I don't want to see Herb pass up any open shots. Mm-hmm. I don't think tonight he passed up any maybe some you guys could point to 1 or 2, but I don't think he passed up any open shots. And for me, that's okay. I mean, Chris, I think spelled it out perfectly. He's being treated different. And so than he was, a couple months ago. And so I think I go back to that thing with because if he starts passing up open shots, that's different to me. That's maybe there's some confidence thing, whatever. But as long as I don't see him not shooting open shots, I'm cool. I don't have a problem with that. Tonight, he just didn't have a bunch of open looks, and that's okay. That's fine. I don't want him Chaz has said this. I don't want her forcing up the action. I don't want him going outside of maybe his comfort zone at this point, but I certainly don't want him passing up any open threes. And I don't remember him just blatantly passing any of those up.
Yep. Chaz, another guy, Trey Murphy, kind of a mixed bag tonight, but the one thing I do like that Trey Murphy did had 10 3-pointer attempts, something that he needs to do consistently. What did you see from Trey? There are a couple of possessions, and Ludo, I want to hear your thoughts on this too. There are a couple 50-50 balls that Trey didn't come up with. I was we could have, it led to second and third different shots. And I'm look, man, if you, I'm a big fan of Trey, but if you want to be in closing groups, you got to come up with those 50-50 balls. Those, you're going to be dependent on rebounding, things of that nature. I thought it was a mixed bag tonight. I liked his attack. I think he had, did he finish the dunk or did he get fouled on the dunk? He got fouled. I like that attack. I like most of his shots tonight, but kind of a mixed bag from Trey. What did you see from him?
I kind of feel like both of those guys just having rough starts to the month. Just generally, I didn't see much from Trey. I thought he was another person who kind of started off the game with a bit of energy. He's one of the few players who had a little energy to start. Hit a big 3 early in the game. It's crazy that in the Pelicans with the Suns, the first quarter is if you scoring in the first quarter, it's a big fucking shot. So he hit a big 3 early in the game. Would like to see him more on the boards. Got 2 assists, no turnovers, which is good. Only 2 fouls. I think he kind of faded into the background in this game. I thought it was I just didn't think he did enough on with the box score to say he played 38 minutes. I didn't see enough. They got it done. You take your victory, but with these guys, I would like to see him at least get to the line. You know what I'm saying? If the shot's not going from behind the arc, you're not really creating anywhere else. You got to at least get to the line. You got to attack the rebound. You got to contribute in different ways. And tonight I didn't see it. He didn't necessarily hurt the team. Again, didn't have any turnovers, only 2 personal fouls. Just a general game,
That's what I was saying. So Jared, I want to talk to you about the Larry Nance, the Larry Nance CJ 2-man game. Before we do that, make sure y'all smash that like button. Helps the channel out. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Appreciate everyone pulling up. So we're here from DraftKings for a minute. We're going to talk about the Larry Nance minutes, and then we're going to get to fan questions. So if you have questions for the panel to answer, I'll star them, and we'll bring them up. But let's hear from DraftKings.
The NBA season is in full swing, and when I can't get enough of the action on the court, I spice things up by betting on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BOOT. New customers can bet $5 to get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOT. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
I kill straight from DraftKings Sportsbook. So, Jared, you called me middle of the game. I don't know if you were watching. I don't know if you were watching the show. I called you out like first 10, 15 minutes, but you called me in the middle of the game and you talked about the Larry Nance, CJ McCollum 2-man game. Go ahead.
Dog, you know what's funny? When you answer, you're like, I already know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, you already knew what I was gonna say, and it might, like, to the casual fan, it might look like just a guy got an and one, or like he was open. But like if you look back, it's if anybody wants to check, it's the 10-15 mark in the third quarter, and Larry Nance gets an and one. But to be honest, what opens it up is actually Trey Murphy's movement backside. Pause. Like that's the thing that I don't think most people understand. Like, you can't stay still. The only reason it's open, Kevin Durant is supposed to be the help side guy. But the fact that Trey moves up, up towards the top of the key, right? Kevin has to shoot the gap, because if you leave Trey open, him top of the key, that's cash. But CJ does a really good job of stretching the pick and roll. Larry dives, right? And that's beautiful basketball. That's the thing we've been trying to get to. The fact that it's game 77 is pissing me off, but I'm glad to still see it. Those are basketball plays. Those are the things we hope to see on a consistent basis, like using what you have to get what you want. Man, I feel like that came out of Players Club. But that's the
hey, look, hold on. Look, my dog was getting in his basketball vernacular bag, but look here, dog, a crime is a crime.
Well, I thank the Lord. Well, I thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man.
Too many toes on the line, bro. But yeah, man.
Of course, fucking silent. Go ahead.
I don't got a computer. I can't hit the button.
I mean, that's fine. Back to the Larry Nance minutes. What did you? So we got to talk about this. JV gets 4 minutes tonight, which, look, it was an ugly start to the game. We're going to talk about the JV stuff. I thought Larry actually played well tonight. I thought Larry affected the game. I thought he was active. I think he had 7 assists. I'll tell you right now. Larry Nance, 7 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 steals, 9 points. Very active. Played great defense. I thought he boxed out very well. Did a lot of good things. Is this like? I feel like this is a playoff basketball game. Is JV just like pointless at this juncture, at this moment? Like, is that how it's gonna be?
I don't want to speak negatively on JV, so I'm gonna say Larry Nance played competent basketball. Larry was really good tonight. Yeah, seven assists was something. 8 rebounds, and I think, don't quote me on this, but I think he led the team in plus minus. Now, I'm not really a big plus minus. It don't really matter. But
no, CJ was plus 19.
CJ was plus 19. He was 17?
Yeah, he was 17.
So Larry was plus 17 tonight. I mean, that's saying something. I thought Larry played very well. I think I'm with Five. The 2-man game was I'm a professional, Sean. I feel like Nance was very good in his minutes. JV was not very good early. He was not.
But do you think that, like, okay, he's not
yeah, 4 minutes. 4 minutes is not.
Nobody
enough
was to Chad's point. Nobody was good in the first 4 minutes.
No, don't sugarcoat. They've given it's over. They've given up on the JV thing. They've given up. It's over.
It's done. It's done for real.
What, Chris?
They've given up on the JV thing. Like it's not just starting center. It's insane. Like it's just like a random experiment. Like it's JRE. Like it's just like
Make Disney World for you.
I don't actually know why he's still starting. I don't know why he's still starting. Because it's
now you're on something.
Like, what's the purpose there? Like, we've seen too many of these now, and I don't care. I'm not over here like advocating for JV to be playing. They have proven, and by they I mean the team or the coaches or whatever have proven with how they've decided to use Larry Nance and JV that like they want to play whatever style of basketball Larry Nance allows them to play. Like, and that's cool. I got no problem with that. But let's now alter, like you still have this other guy like that's here. Like we don't have another center. Like they're not playing anyone else. Cody Zeller like is not coming out of the retirement community to give you like the 12 to 14 minutes you need from a backup center. So just start Larry, like just let's figure that out at this point, because I think the way they're using they're using JV right now is actually turning into a huge negative, both for JV and for the team. Like this dude is still a legitimate NBA center in some regard. And we've relegated him to nothing, like to just a totally meaningless guy in a Pelicans uniform. Like that to me is the bigger issue here. Larry played great tonight. Good for him. And I'm happy for the team. Huge win. But like you still have this guy that you have to find a way to utilize so that you can get a little more value out of it. Like you can't just 4 minutes in the end of the bench. I don't know if that's like a great. That's not getting the most out of what we have.
You go into prevent offense with JV or prevent game planning before 4 minutes in the actual basketball game is not enough to determine how somebody play. Like you cannot forecast an entire game's worth of ability in 4 minutes. Like, yeah, he had a bad stretch of basketball, but like Larry Nance still only had 6 rebounds.
Larry Nance had 8.
Yeah, 8 rebounds. Yeah, JV could have got that in like 7 minutes. You know what I'm saying? He could have got 7. He could have got those rebounds in that amount of time. I will give Larry Nance this though. Larry Nance took a mid-range jumper tonight,
and from the corner,
and it was a very good shot. And I was very happy to see him take that shot. A lot of times you see when the possession gets bogged down, Larry will pick his dribble up and either look for an outlet or he will travel. That's the only two things that happen in that situation. And I'm so glad. I'm sorry, that was foul. I'm sorry. If that was foul, I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be foul. I literally like feel like that was the perfect nuance in that situation. Because he also had 7 assists. He had good court vision tonight. And look, maybe JV comes in back into the game and maybe he does not play well, but I'm with Ross. Like 4 minutes for a 7'1". Now, mind you, like Nurkic was still on the floor, and
Nurkic played. Let's see, Nurkic played. Nurkic played 31 minutes.
How many rebounds Nurkic had?
Nurkic had 10 rebounds.
But for me, it's not. Again, this isn't a. I'm sorry, I don't know who was about to speak. It's not a Larry versus Jonas thing. It's a Jonas versus the coaching staff or Jonas versus the other team thing, right? Like, if you think there's a chance that he's only going to be useful for a handful of minutes in this game, or like he doesn't match up with the other team starting it, whatever. Like, he can't just play 4 minutes. Like, there are opportunities. You've got to build things in. Like, that to me is a little bit of game planning. It might be tinkering with rotations and things like that. But I think just like just to start a game and then go sit at the end of the bench
Crazy
is not the best use of like a talent that should be playing some amount of minutes, and that's certainly more than 4.
Chris, go ahead.
It's kind of ironic because Nurkic shares the floor with KD, Brad Beal, and Devin Booker, and when he's in the game, he's a very important part of that half court offense. Typically like as a screener, as someone who catches the basketball, dribble handoffs, middle of the floor. He's very important when he's in the game. The other side to that, though, is that when he's in that starting lineup, he has 4 shooters surrounding him. So the spacing element of it is completely different. And with Jonas, it's predictable, man. It's like we're gonna throw him in the corner, we're gonna put him at the wing at the top of the key, or if he gets the basketball, he gotta get his own rebound. Or we'll throw him throwing the ball in the post there, a couple times. It's just they don't know how to properly feature Jonas with the talent that's out there. And I don't know if it's necessarily an emphasis by the guys that are there consistently to say, all right, well, even after Jonas gets one basket, let's dump it down to him again. The first basket of the game, look, for any of y'all that bet on first baskets for the Pelicans, on DraftKings, look, I guarantee you got a good chance of making your money when it comes to Jonas, because Jonas' first basket, a lot of times it's him, but beyond that, it goes away. I think that you run into a problem sometimes when it comes like with having him and Zion out there. If he's not making threes and you're not going to feature him. But it's just like, how else could you possibly use him? And the only way that I could think is what Ross is saying. If you know that this is something that you're going to punt quickly within 4 minutes, you might as well just start off at this point in the season, start off with a smaller lineup and find ways to bring Jonas in throughout the game, even for 15 minutes to maybe get you a few looks at the basket. But if you're not going to feature him and you're going to make him a stretch center, or you're going to just have him be a dirty work guy, well, then you're wasting and misusing his talents and gifts anyway. And you're not going to get the motor that you want the rest of. Like, he's not going to be a Montrezl Harrell, bro. He's not going to be an Isaiah Hartenstein. He's not going to be he's not that kind of center, dog. Like he's a traditional big that's capable of getting you 15 to 20 and 10. That's who he is. I mean, how else are we expect this to go?
Well, and here's some analysis, and whoever can go next, because sometimes we get criticized there for not giving analysis. Here's some analysis. Do you know what player on the team Jonas has the best rating with? Like who?
CJ.
Jose Alvarado.
Oh, a guard?
Oh, Jose Alvarado.
Oh, wow.
And so
that's a crazy thought.
Like you're not playing him with the first unit and you don't like the way that looks. And there's some statistics, some data that supports, well, him and Jose play really well together when they're on the court. Then just go to that. Like, that's cool. Like, you get, like, he's still a useful player. Find the best way to utilize him. Okay, that's all. I think that's all I'm saying. If we really like Larry with the first unit, that's great. Like, cool, run with that. But it doesn't mean that you can't still utilize this other player. Look at the data, look at the film, do what you got to do to find the best way to do that.
I'm on my bad, Five.
No. My only thing is, like, we've seen Jonas play well with the second unit all year. Matter of fact, probably going back the last 2 years. Why don't you just lean into that? Like, it's cool to have a different pace than your first unit. I mean, you already kind of have it. I think he has a good relationship between Jose and Najee. Even early on, always looked for JV. You can look at the minutes with CJ and JV, and they're probably higher. Like, if you take Brandon and Zion off, they're probably higher than you would think. It just makes sense. Like, they have the ability to slow the game down and defend a little bit better, especially if you surround them with shooting. Think about the first quarter tonight. I think JV takes that corner three, right? Phoenix really they wanted JV to shoot that three. I think AD alluded to it. Like, that's what they want. They'll live with JV shooting a corner three. What's the purpose of doing things that somebody else wants you to do? Why even put JV in a corner? That isn't an effective way of presenting your basketball claim. So that's my only purpose. Like, well, why even put him out there you might as well relegate him to the second unit and just lean into it. If Larry's your guy, just admit it. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't play on 4 minutes and then, all right, Larry, you got the rest of it. What's the purpose in that?
I think it's a little crazy that analytically
speaking,
we
have an analysis segment.
Yeah, and analytically speaking, it's. I don't know if anybody ever thought that maybe a big man who really can't create a shot for himself would be better off with a guard on the floor. It's mind blowing that would be a thing that may need to happen. Also, I'm with Ross. I think that, like, dog, you could play Larry Nance as much as you want to play Larry Nance, and that's cool, no problem, bro. Jonas don't have to get 4 minutes though.
I gotta bring this comment, Mike. This is what we're saying, Michael. Like, it's not that we're complaining about it, which we're bringing up a point of basically saying, like, I appreciate the comment, but you're gonna need Jonas Valanciunas sooner or later in a playoff series. Like, whether you like it or not, you can say slow-footed, this and that. Like, speaking of analytics, like, isn't he one of the best rim protectors in the league?
Yeah, he in the top five percentage of centers.
It's like stats are showing he's a good offensive player. He's a double every single night. Like, to say we're complaining about this, he can't play 4 minutes. That's what I think everyone's trying to say.
I'm gonna swoop right past Michael. Check this out. I feel like excuse me. I don't feel like I saw him give a generational defensive player in Victor Wembanyama problems. You telling me he can't score against Yusuf Nurkic? He can't.
What was his stat line against his players?
But it wouldn't have been Yusuf Nurkic. It'd have been Drew Eubanks.
Even better.
That's what that's the point I'm making. Is like, it's okay some games to just say, this lineup isn't what working, or this isn't what we want to see. And you flip to Larry. It's cool. Like, normally Larry would have just played with the second unit. That's fine. Just switch him. Like, it's 4 minutes. 4 minutes. He might not have broke a sweat yet.
Right.
Like, that's cool. Just switch.
Right.
He doesn't just have to be done. And I think that's my problem with JV sometimes, is like, when they make that call, a lot of times it's in the second quarter. Like, he'll come out and he'll play 8 minutes, and then he'll play 4 or 5 more, like ending the first quarter, start the second quarter, and then they're done. That's it. Boom. It doesn't have to be done.
I like the adjustment. Like, I like the adjustment. I just think that JV getting, like, you could tell JV was done because he did this, the hands behind the head. He had the feet propped up.
Empower him to be like, hey, this isn't what we want to do, but like, we need you with the second unit. Like, we need that. Like, there's an important aspect of that.
You know when you're not included in something. Like, you know when you don't feel useful. And there is a stat out there, analytically speaking. There's a stat out there about the Pelicans that when JV is a part of the game, when he is productive, then the Pelicans win those games.
Yeah. Let's get to fan questions. About an hour and 8 in. Appreciate everyone. Smash the like button. Chaz, do you think this team gets 50 wins? So, in order to get to 50 wins, I don't think they can lose the rest of the way. So they got Portland, Golden State, Sacramento. I don't know if that's the right. If that's the
Sacramento, then Golden State.
Okay, that's a back-to-back, right, Chris?
Yep.
So I just saw that Draymond Green went out, or he's back in the locker room with a back injury.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Chaz, do you think they can get to 50 wins?
No, not anymore. I think it's a good chance that the Warriors probably by the end of the season. I think it's a good chance that the Warriors rest. So I think maybe they get to 48. Maybe.
So the Warriors are locked in at 10. Is that right? Right now, it's Warriors 10, Lakers 9.
Yeah, the Warriors definitely like the top 10 are set.
Top 10 are set. So
like, Houston's out. Everybody else is out. So I think the Warriors are probably only one more loss. I don't know who they play before us, but like, I think they're only one more loss from being stuck in the 10.
So Golden State's up 17 right now against Utah. Would Golden State, Chaz, would Golden State have to go undefeated?
To do what?
The way to jump up into the 9 or 8 spot?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Truthfully, I think it's just
they would need the.
Sorry, I kind of think things are staying exactly the way they are right now. I think the only real thing you got to watch is the Lakers leapfrogging the Pelicans. Other than that, I kind of think things are just about where they are right now.
Yeah, Timberwolves versus Lakers Suns. That's a big game, and LeBron is not playing. So, Chris, thoughts on this comment? I gained some respect for Dyson with that push on book. Did you gain respect?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know Dyson
You're
personally.
laughing at
I
it.
mean, yeah.
I thought it was a good moment for him.
I mean,
really
look from this perspective, bro. Like any guy on that team that decides to stand up for their teammate in any kind of way, like that's all to you, no matter who it is. Because look, what Dyson did to me, and the best way that I could describe it is that he did what Najee Marshall would have done. Now Najee would have pushed Devin Booker to the ground, but that's what you're supposed to do. And it was off of something that it was a couple, like it didn't happen right away. I'm assuming Dyson pushed Book because Book had just pushed Zion, so it was just like, yo, bro, like not like that's not happening tonight. And that's what you're supposed to do as a teammate. Forget all the other elements. You see your teammate, your star player who's having a really good game, who you don't really never see Zion getting into it with nobody. Zion ain't the type to really lose his head and go over there, and push Book back. So yeah, it's your job as a role player to say, nah, I got you. That's not happening. I don't know what the fuck else Dyson would have said to him. Because they got into it a couple of different, and Book was talking to everybody. He got into it with Trey a couple times. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's just standing up for your teammate, man. At the end of the day, and that's what you need out of somebody specifically whose job is to irritate star wings. And hell, he was guarding Nurk, so at a different point in the game. So I guess offensive centers as well.
Yeah. Appreciate the super chats, Joe. Yes, Donald, if the Pelicans make the Western Conference Finals, Chaz is flying into New Orleans. That has actually been stamped.
I rescind that.
No, you can't do that. You can't redact it. There's no redacting on the show. You can't do that.
I didn't say redact. I said I rescind.
Oh, okay.
I rescind that. But I appreciate you, Don.
Lito. From ETL, Xavier Fuller. Why y'all think we are better on the road?
I don't know. I
the hose and the strawberry. This strawberry. Fest.
You ever been to Phoenix? Phoenix. It's just nice.
Where has this guy been? He's a world traveler.
Hey man, Phoenix
country
nice,
traveler.
Man. I don't know, Xavier, bro. Like they that's been the thing in the league this year, though. Like that, they're not the only team that's dealing with that. Like other teams, for whatever reason, have been better on the road than they are at home. Now the Pelicans are even worse at home, but I don't know the rhyme or reason for it. I couldn't tell you. Like I couldn't even speculate on it. But they just are not good at. Maybe it would be good to go away from a playoff game.
Well, that's why, yeah. I mean, we're talking about road playoff series, right? So, also shout out X. Happy birthday, Lito. Lito's birthday tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
So make sure you're in the chat. So, Wahab, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm guessing you're talking about Zion. Clear that up for me, and then I'll present this question. I love it. Ross, you watching the Final Four on Saturday?
No, I was traveling.
What do you think of Edie from Purdue?
I would be lying to you. I'm not that person to ask.
Okay.
I just don't. I don't watch a lot of college basketball, other than knowing that he's like 7'3" or whatever. Like I really just.
I'll give you this one. Is this JV's last year with us?
Oh, well.
Think about it. Think about that one.
I think, and I've changed my opinion on this because I think probably 3 weeks ago I'd have said no. 3 weeks ago when things were going well and it was like, oh, this team's going to win 52 games and, coast into the playoffs, even with his usage being all messed up, I'd have thought, don't know if there's going to be some crazy market for JV in the offseason. I could see a scenario where they just sort of try to roll this thing back for at least another year. I think that we have like disenfranchised JV enough now to where he would take less money from another team. Like I think he's got to want to get himself in a different situation. Like that doesn't seem like we want him here anymore or value what he like can do, or have found the proper way to utilize that, like with a second unit or whatever. I think that this divorce is coming. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Let's see. God, we're fucking hour 14 in. I'll do like about 5 more minutes. Chris, I don't know. Like, I don't know if Donnie's upset with the Saints hat or a hat.
I mean, is it? You know what's funny? I have two different Saints hats. I had the one with just the logo, and then I got this one. So I mean, what other hat would you like me to get, man? What team would you like me to root for?
Lito used to root for the Saints with Derek Carr as our quarterback.
Professionally, I just like.
No, this is against the Saints.
I can say. Oh, all right, all right.
Just doesn't count.
I mean, I want the Saints to win, of course, but like, do I have faith in them to win? Like, do I think they're? I don't think anybody is smart in that organization. So no.
Man, hey, look, I can tell a quick story. I was in Detroit because the dude punked me so bad this weekend. I was in Detroit, which is where the NFL draft is in a couple weeks. They're like setting all this crap up, and so I mean, it looks really cool. Shout out! Like, Detroit was not what I thought it was. First off, like much nicer and better than I thought it was. But I'm sitting at a bar, talking to some other folks. And I was like, man, it's really cool. The draft, like, it's here. It looks like they're doing a lot of stuff for it. And he was like, yeah, I mean, for some bad teams, the draft is like a Super Bowl. And he looked at, we had just got done talking about how I'm from New Orleans and this, that, and the other. And he kind of looked at me. I'm thinking like, hey man, fuck you. First off, like, because I think he was, I don't know if he was just, messing around or if he was being like, or if it was like, hey, yeah, it's your Super Bowl's in 2 weeks. The draft's big time. But it's a sad day to be a Saints fan when people start talking about you like that.
You got Derek Carr as our quarterback.
He is he was rated 75, and I think he had something to say about social media. That was kind of high for him.
Look, hey, if you want a good laugh, go look at the comments on that Boot Crew Media post where we posted the Derek Carr reaction to that. This man, you need to turn the comments off on that.
Thomas, appreciate you. Booker does not get 50.
Hey, shout out to Pelicans, man.
Celebration.
Only took 3 times, man. That's all.
Chaz, I'll say this from Jeffrey. Appreciate the super chat. I don't necessarily know if he weighs 275, but I think he's in his best shape in a Pelicans uniform. But what do you think this kind of does when he shut down Beal? Like, people are saying Beal went off in the second half. I didn't think Zion, like when Zion was a primary defender, it was like really early on those first 6 minutes of the third quarter. And I thought he's done an incredible job, not only against Beal, but over these last 2 weeks of just switching on to guards and containing them. Are you seeing something different there, or do you think that Zion's kind of stepped his game up defensively guarding the perimeter?
I think I've seen him do well in certain matchups. I think he always guards. I think I saw him guard Colin Sexton pretty well. What's the dude? Man, I always forget this dude named. Is it Clarkson? I think Clarkson pretty well.
Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, I've seen him. I mean, we've seen several isolated incidents to where, like, for the entire game, he was really competent along the perimeter. You could highlight that LaMelo thing, that Tatum matchup that a couple times. Yeah. So he's capable. It's just about the want to, the consistent will and determination to do so. You know what I'm saying? So I think tonight was a night. Again, he did everything you needed him to do tonight, and he came out there and showed up.
And Danny, appreciate this. I was Chris, can we talk about this for a second?
What about it?
There was a couple moments where I disagreed with Willie Green, so I get it, but I thought Zion should have gone the whole fourth. I thought it was like game. I thought like I was a little. There was a timeout. They took a timeout early. I think Phoenix might cut it to 2. After the timeout, I'm like, Zion's definitely coming. He didn't come in. There was a moment though where Alvarado and Willie again went back and forth. I think Alvarado was he was hot. I mean, he was affecting the game. He got pulled out there probably in this early second. Was that toeing the line? I mean, he was hot pulling up. That was toeing the line.
I think it's the emphasis you struggle with. Like, you could say like he was hot from the floor, like something like that.
Chaz, you want to like say anything about that? You want to have any points?
I'm watching WrestleMania, honestly. Okay. I'm listening.
Go ahead. What do you think about that?
Well, I thank the Lord. Well, I thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man.
Go ahead.
I mean? Look,
this is the second back and forth they've had in like last 2 weeks.
I mean, look, I think that's good for any type of team, any type of organization, bro. You need conflict, you know. And if the only person that is going to get Willie to have a back and forth verbally with is Jose Alvarado, so be it. I think there needs to be more of them. I watch Jamal Mosley go back and forth with his players all the time. Like, I mean, to me, that in a game like this, they know how important the game was. They know that starting this road trip off in a game that nobody predicted or scheduled them to win or thought that they would win, trying to end a 4-game losing streak. This is your first game back in what y'all say 2 weeks. He was on a minutes restriction, but he ended up playing 22 minutes. So I mean, I could see him being fired up, and he was having a good game. But I mean, I'm for all that, dog. I'm for coaches and players cussing each other out, going back and forth, throwing Gatorade bottles at each other. Like that's important, man. You need a little, a little wrestling elements. You need a little conflict. People being upset with each other. Like, it's not always supposed to be nice, and handshakes and smiles and all of that shit, bro. Like, for you really to break through and succeed, at some point y'all gotta argue. Y'all gotta yell at each other in any relationship. You name them. I ain't yelled and cussed you out yet, Justin, but I think it'll happen eventually. It's part of the process.
We've definitely gone. We went back.
Oh no, we did. See, there you go.
We texted and you called me like, I didn't appreciate that. I was like, oh well, I didn't appreciate that. And then we hashed it out.
Just, you know what I'm saying?
Goes, man.
Just part of relationships.
You know what I haven't hashed out?
What?
This Bounce TV.
Oh yeah,
Bounce
okay,
TV
all right. The Bounce TV thing's got to fucking go. I couldn't even watch the game tonight in New Orleans. I couldn't watch the game. Bounce TV's got to go.
This is nonsense.
This
is amateur. Like, I don't know.
Bush League.
I don't know. Maybe I'm missing some nuance, but like this Bounce TV thing is amateur hour. Like
I think it's for antenna viewers, I believe.
I didn't believe this thing. I can't believe this.
I'm not joking.
No, I'm not. No,
I'm not joking because I had to go to my brother's house to watch the first half. He's like, yeah, I have the antenna. I'm like, what the fuck is the antenna?
Like, I don't have rabbit ears.
Bro, I had to go to my brother's house to watch the first half tonight. And then I had to watch on laptop on our playback.
I didn't know that.
Our playback, I had to watch the second half of our playback. So I was like a minute and a half delayed.
Bro,
I thought these were supposed to be on like local, like the WGNO
Fox,
or Fox,
it's
whatever
just
it is.
Fox is just on Fridays. It's just on Friday.
It might be maybe they're trying to bring in a older demo or something, but it's Bounce TV is an antenna. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's weird, but Bounce TV got some good shows. He used to play Parenthood and all kind of shit.
Let me tell you what they don't have. Let me tell you what they don't have. The infrastructure needed to support an NBA basketball game with high quality, like production value. That's what they don't have.
So I'm at wrong because I got digital cable and
you moved too fast.
HD TVs in my house.
You were an early adopter.
I'm wrong because last week I tweeted it was on Bounce and I said, bro, what channel is the game on? And it was like Bounce TV, and I was like, dog, I don't have that. Or I was like, I couldn't. Something was going on. They was like, bro, you got to go get some rabbit ears.
You got to go to your grandparents' house.
Bro, I'm not going to buy no fucking rabbit ears to put on my TV.
This is crazy. It's crazy.
That was bad. First and foremost, so we'll wrap up the show here. Shout out to Chris, Chaz, Lito, and 5. Ross and I were out of town this week. Fuck, it's been a taxing week. Shout out to y'all, man, for pulling up the content, the shows, the recaps. Y'all were absolutely great this week. So really appreciate all the time y'all put in. Appreciate everyone that pulls up. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Of course, we're gonna have 5 seconds with Lito. A happy birthday, 5 seconds with Lito. Go ahead.
Oh man, that's crazy. I never thought I'd be this old, but dying ain't in the cards. So here I am. Listen, man, I want to say it's my homeboy birthday today, man. Shout out my dog Jay Strick. He got a party. I think he in BR. So shout out to Strick. It's my other homegirl, Destiny. Her birthday was on the 4th. I just want to say, man, I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to just keep getting old, dog. Because again, dying is not cool. Like, I don't know nobody who ever died before and like came back and was like, that shit fire. So you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to getting old.
More life.
All right. You know what? Everyone's like about the company burger. I mean, I think Chris played a record time 3 times on one of the streams. So we'll give the people what they want. Here's company burger. Company Burger is the official burger of Pro Pels Talk and Boot Crew Media.
Located at 4600 Birdsall Street, Company Burger has been locally owned and operated for 11 years. Grind the meat, bake the buns, make the mayo, get the homemade tots. Company Burger uses Creekstone Farms prime beef to create the best burger in the city with milkshakes to go and a full bar. Company Burger is open every day besides Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Can't make it out? No worries, we have you covered. You can order online right now at thecompanyburger.com or check them out on the Toast or Uber Eats app. Company Burger, the official burger of Boot. I think we're ready. Y'all want to go Company Burger?
That's right.
Appreciate y'all. Smash the like button. We'll see y'all later.